Hey everyone, it's Johnny from MCKAY back with another video. This one's going to be a short one, straight to the point. Pittsburgh Penguins rant here. People that have been on the channel, they know I'm not a Penguins fan, but on behalf of the Penguins fans that are on the channel that are going to watch this video, I'll do a rant for you. I have a few things to say about the Pittsburgh Penguins, and of course it does start with Tristan Jarry. And I know there's a lot of other aspects that some of the fans will look at, the management will look at, maybe even Mike Sullivan looks at. But it came down to Tristan Jarry. I mean, at the end of the day, this guy did not step up. And in Game 5 and Game 6, it was clear. Specifically in overtime. I mean, if you look at the whole Game 5, I think it was just Sorokin going off, like Sorokin playing out of his mind. And then the Jarry mistake in overtime. But Game 6, it was Jarry. I mean, the goals allowed, it was Jarry. You look at specifically 3 goals. And then I look at kind of the dagger, the 5th goal. Brock Nelson right through the 5-hole squeaker. That's got to be stopped. I think for the Pittsburgh Penguins, down by 2, that really just shook them and shut them down. I think if you're within a goal there, you have a chance. And then obviously the Coliseum just going off. It can't happen. And this is where I talk about having insurance. And I actually talked about the Pittsburgh Penguins. Like, you look at their past here, and obviously Matt Murray was struggling. So hindsight's 2020, of course. And Matt Murray was really good for the Pens, obviously, in their cup years in 2016, 2017. But, like, Matt Murray, I think, being in this situation, it would have been better than what we're seeing. Like, I couldn't imagine Matt Murray being worse than this. But, again, he was bad at times. Like, Tristan Jarry, an .888 save percentage. Like, that can't happen in the playoffs. An .888 save percentage. So, yes, the Pittsburgh Penguins, they relied on Tristan Jarry going in. Casey DeSmith hurt there at the end. And obviously this team had Marc-Andre Fleury, who's going off in the playoffs. That's the extra thing that stings here for Pittsburgh fans. And then on top of that, and I want to pull this up, it's just on top of knowing that you could have had Marc-Andre Fleury still here, but also Philip Gustafsson. That's another aspect. And I look at this trade myself, and I'm not going to pull it up just to complicate things, but you traded Philip Gustafsson, a first-round pick. You also sent Ryan Reeves to Vegas, and you got Derek Brassard. And obviously, again, hindsight's 2020, but that was just a horrible trade. At the time, I thought it was a huge overpayment, and now it looks 10 times worse. And I look at some of these just quotes, and like Crosby, obviously Crosby held to 2 points in 6 games, and Sid giving him himself a hard time. And then Mike Sullivan talking about we didn't lose because we're not big enough. And then obviously Brian Burke and Ron Hextall are going to have different mindsets on that. This team is just, it's probably the most frustrating team probably right now for Pens fans, even though you have 2 cups. And a lot of people are going to be like, I don't feel bad for Pens fans. They got the winning. They got the 2 cups back to back. But now, since then, Washington beat them in the second round, leading into a Stanley Cup champion. 2019, swept by the New York Islanders. 2020, losing to the 24 seed Montreal Canadiens. And then 2021, coming in as the 1st seed in the East and losing to 6 in the Islanders. But again, the Islanders need the respect, but that's not the problem here for Pittsburgh, that they lost to, we'll say, a better team. The Islanders are a well-coached team, a well-structured team, and they showed that when you have a hot goalie and you have a good structure in front of them, you can win a playoff series. And you'll look at the series percentage-wise, probability-wise, statistically, the Penguins should have won this series, or at least should have forced this to a Game 7. I'm talking about personally with the Pittsburgh Penguins. The New York Islanders have their own respect here, but the Pittsburgh Penguins, statistically and based on probability, should have won 4 of those 6 games. And you look at Game 5 and you look at Game 6, and especially Game 5, they absolutely dominated. There's Islanders fans that, well, I would say most Islanders fans can't deny that. They know that. They've said, we definitely stole Game 5 in Pittsburgh. And then Game 6, the Islanders' offense came to play a little bit better, and Jarry, like I said, allowed 2 or 3 weak goals that were just way too costly. 5 goals in an elimination game, it can't happen. And they had no options. So, Mike Sullivan, he's going to get some backlash for not putting legacy in, and he's probably going to get backlash just in general for another first-round exit here. And the Penguins, I mean, look what they did. They went after Kasperi Kapanen, traded a first, traded a prospect, Hollander, and they didn't like sell any pieces away. They were confident going forward. And the big question for me as I'm making this video is, are they going another year with this core? And obviously Rutherford was kind of put to the side, and you bring in Brian Burke, you bring in Ron Hextall, and it seems like Crosby wants to stay with the big three, which is Crosby, Malkin, Letang. Letang wants it, Malkin wants it. But are they going to make a tough call? I think one of two things happen. Something changes in the ownership's mindset, and they do shift this core. They shift the big core. Or two, they just go all in for a goalie. One of those two things are going to happen. They're either going to retool, shift the core, or they're going in for a goalie. And the big other thing I'll just touch on just quickly is we saw in 2016, we saw in 2017, we saw a few years ago, Gensel being the big playoff performer for the Pens. Obviously, Kessel was there. We saw some playoff performers for the Penguins outside of the big three, as I've said. Gensel was another problem here where he just wasn't the playoff Gensel we've seen in the past. Outside of that, I can't really just pick on too many Pittsburgh Penguins. Like Jeff Carter was a huge addition, and he was playing really well. It was just one of those things you never really, and for myself, you never really go into one player or one to blame. But Jarry is a big aspect here to blame, 100%. And the Penguins lost to a well-structured, well-coached, consistent, for the most part, New York Islanders team in this series. Again, the Islanders got dominated in that Game 5, but they stuck around, and Jarry makes the costly mistake in overtime. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe for news. Smash the like button. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Just wanted to make a quick video. Let me know your thoughts on the Pittsburgh Penguins. What moves they need to make in the offseason. I'll be making a video on that coming up. So hope to see you around. I'll be doing a lot of live streams, a lot of videos, and I hope to see you more on the channel. All right. Have a good one. Peace.